Before we get into the first match, which will be Solar versus Bomber, we have the results of the community bonus prize pool that we put up yesterday. We said, look, we've got $1,000 spare per day. We'd like to give it to the players, but we'd like you guys to decide who. So we have the results of that, and this is what happened. So congratulations to Parting, who walks away with $420 of the $1,000 extra prize money that was available. No doubt in thanks to his monumental effort yesterday, which almost resulted in him going on to the round of 4. Bjorn walks away with 210, thanks to a great series. Bomber with 170, I think surprising many people. Solar with 60, and everybody else with $40 bonus. That's all as a result of your votes, and of course you'll be able to do that again today with the round of 4 players at the end of today's live broadcast, which is over on teamliquid.net. It'll be under the live report thread. Look for the poll, and of course I'll be linking it in the chat at the end. Alright, I'm about ready to kick it off. Are you, Nathanius? Are you ready to go?
Yeah, man, I'm ready to do this, and just another extra shout-out. Parting really played his heart out, despite the fact that we've got mostly Terrans that moved on. I think a couple people were pretty surprised by Bomber being able to just roll his way through as well here to the semifinals.
Yeah, I think so. And it was a result of people consistently underestimating practice in Legacy of the Void Beta. Yeah, Zest is great, but Zest was great in a different game.
Yeah, I think it's just so cool because people this happens all the time whenever anything new happens. Like, oh, this guy actually plays around with this unit composition that works now, or played around with the beta more than other people did before we got here. So I'm just hyped, man. And this first series looks so awesome. I don't know what to say. I just want to see it.
Yeah, I would certainly think so. We're just checking in whether Solar is ready to go. Bomber is ready to rock and roll. As we said, best of 7 from here on in. And it's going to be pretty epic. We have a 7-map pool with 1 veto each. If we actually exhaust the pool, we re-veto to make sure that we can get some of the dodgier maps out of the pool.
Yeah, I'm already excited because the Ruins of Saras, I think, is a pretty interesting map. Bit of a very big one. Not quite as bad as Laralac Crest in my opinion, but still, you know, this is one of those ones where I feel like if a Zerg gets any momentum because of how big it is, it can be pretty tough for Terran to push across, depending on the spawns, of course.
Yeah, very true. But if anyone could do it, Bomber can. But he is facing up against a pretty big challenge here in the form of Solar, so here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ruins of Saras. It's my pleasure to introduce to you, from Team Samsung Galaxy, in the blue trunks playing Zerg, his name is Solar. Versus his opponent to the east position in the red trunks, from Team Spenny, sponsored by Red Bull, playing Terran, his name is Bomber.
Somehow being one of the oldest StarCraft players that are still just showing up consistently. You know, maybe not winning the big tournaments, right? I don't think anyone looks at Bomber as this guy's going to take a BlizzCon anytime soon, but he's just been around and constantly has a presence, you know? It's just one of those cool things where he was super successful at the beginning of Wings of Liberty and then just never really fell off the map. Maybe had a cold period here and there, but he's always been, you know, also just a good sport. It's been fun to follow him, and of course you compare him to some of the guys that have only come up in the last year or two, like Solar, who are super funny, super awesome, and you know, this guy's won 2 DreamHack Stockholms in a row. He's basically the Korean pride of Sweden right now, and I think a lot of people are looking forward to seeing what this guy brings to the table in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah, I would say that is absolutely true. Also, Nathanius, you've let me down, man. You let me down today. Like, as the dankest of streamers, you missed Parting winning 420.
I mean, I wasn't sure if I wanted to comment. I was going to ask you why I was exactly 420.
Well, I mean, we divided it by percentages. It seemed like the easiest way to do it. It's like, okay, we've got just over 1,000 votes. Let's just break it down by percentage, and Parting had 42. So, 420.
All right, that is actually pretty impressive.
Yeah. That couldn't have been planned better, really.
Yeah, I was gonna say that even sounds like it's too precise a number to actually even just like coordinate between all the voters, you know.
Well, especially considering the vote results were hidden, so if they managed to pull that off, then that's really impressive.
So it was fate then.
It was fate. Now, speaking of fate, we've got Solar going 3 hatch before pool here, and we've got a pretty early command center coming out of Bomber, who is going to follow that up with the barracks and the factory immediately. Going to start off with 2 Marines, and then he's possibly looking for a swap over here. I think this is the kind of map where 3 hatch before pull you can really get away with.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this before. The map is so huge, and on ladder, you can get any spawns on this map, so you could theoretically spawn close air, and then maybe you're a bit worried about something like Banshees or Reapers or what have you. But cross spawns like this is Zerg heaven. You know, this is like getting cross spawn on Frost. It's so hard for the Terran to push you, and I'm already kind of intrigued by this opening that Bomber is going for. He's getting 2 extra barracks before 3rd command center, and he only has 1 gas, so this is like a no-tech type build with a lot of Marines, but he has such a far distance to go to actually get to Solar's base. I'm really interested to see how he intends to actually put damage or, you know, put pressure on, because I feel like Solar is too good, especially considering how much distance Bomber has to him. Like, how is he supposed to get damage done?
I don't see how he can. I mean, I would have expected maybe a starport to be added on, and then maybe see some drops or elevation play, but we're not seeing any of that either. It's not like Bomber's not in a solid position here, but he's got units that he can't do anything with, whereas all Solar's doing is droning.
Yeah, and you know, he's seeing the Hellions doesn't really tell Solar too much. Like, most Terran players are going to open up with Hellions, but I have to agree with you on that. You know, with a build like this, I am surprised. I guess it just comes down to not having that second gas. He can't afford a starport, but without medevacs, you have no sustainability in this push, right? You know, there's no plan B. If your opponent has enough speedlings to kill this army of Marines, then you're not going to be able to pick up and get away. Like, you have no exit strategy. You know, there's no wall either, so even a counterattack can be devastating if he just pushes out of his base. He's got combat shield and an armory, so it's just like, what, a combat shield Marine Hellbat push? I'm not sure what exactly this is meant to be.
I mean, it's a very durable push, but honestly, like, there's no evacuation ability at that point. Like, if you get stuck and you can't stand and fight, then your army is dead. I mean, what I will say is that Bomber's army is large, and while the Roach Warren was built by Solar, he's only just now started the Roaches, so they may be able to threaten the 3rd base, but I don't anticipate them doing any real damage.
Yeah, I think the creep spread is another really big point here. These Zerglings trying to get a bit of counterattack damage done. I mean, the rally is nice for blocking that, but with this creep, the Roaches should be able to freely just bully these Hellbats, because they just, you know, obviously they can take the damage, but the speed boost that they get.
There's going to be like 10 Hellbats, though, or actually 8, with a lot of Marines backing them up. With good positioning, the Roaches could die to this.
That just depends on how well he can control his forces. The Hellbat's coming up right now.
Well, the answer is not well enough, because that is immediately being driven back, and Solar's going to take full advantage of that. And
there's so many Roaches.
Yeah, there really are. Now, you know, I think the best position for Bomber here is actually going to fight at the top of the ramp here, and Solar hasn't engaged with the Zerglings as of yet. Looking to try and get a good surround, and of course, like, is there such a thing as a good surround against that many Hellbats? Not really.
Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to push up this ramp, to be perfectly honest. You have 3 base Zerg who could just, you know, like, okay, 5 SD, immediately saturate the 3rd, whereas the Terran player is only just taking their 3rd base. Like, the command center's not even done yet, so not even close to an orbital. Bomber's actually in full panic mode. He's dropping 4 bunkers now to try to defend against this counterattack, and to be honest, it's just it's just some Lings and Roaches, right? He still could build drones behind this. He's getting his 1-1 upgrades, he's getting his lair, but I love that he's just putting all this pressure on his Bomber. He's panicking, and his 3rd base could be at risk as well.
Yeah, he's going to have to lift that off, and at least that gets that out of the way. But then